Stop! Hammer Ghost! Whoa, 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 whoa! I will admit the set design's a hit. Unfortunately, everything else was a miss. The special effects, the music, and the editing, subpar writing, and subpar acting. All of the choices made no damn sense. The casting choices ended up being a mess. F. Murray Abraham, Tony Shalhoub, Shannon Elizabeth, Matthew Lillard too? How do you fuck up a remake of a 1960s classic with this much of a mess up? My goodness, this was an embarrassment of epic proportions. I'm Thir13en with the retro review of 13 Ghosts, the 2001 remake of the 1960 classic from William Castle, where it's based around 13 ghosts, and provided that my horrible butchering of MC Hammers can't touch this, didn't really just want to make you goddamn melt your goddamn eardrums and form them into something where you would never have to hear me sing again or attempt to sing. Let's talk about this movie that's considered, I guess, a bit of a cult classic. It's actually complete dog shit. I will admit that there are moments in this movie that I fucking laughed at. And unfortunately, this had so much missed potential, it's a practical Mount Everest pile behind me, which you can't goddamn see because, one, I can't afford the budget to have a background, and also that would make, having a house really goddamn awkward if you had a Mount Everest pile of anything behind you unless you lived around Mount Everest. Enough about geography. As for this movie, they got F. Murray Abraham in this. It's from director Steve Beck, who would end up directing Ghost Ship a year later. Ghost Ship somehow ended up being better because I had a really good opening sequence. This was written by 3 people. It took 3 people to write this story that was so incomprehensible and ridiculous, yet also simplified and predictable. And I kept thinking throughout all this, man, this, pilot for Monk was really goddamn dark. No wonder they shifted tone. And Tony Shalhoub plays a father who is, basically troubled. He lost his wife in a house fire, and now he's trying to raise his son Bobby, who likes to talk about dead people on a recording device, and by a recording device I mean a tape machine because this was 2001, and also Shannon Elizabeth was basically a wide-eyed wonder when it came to literally anything in this movie, and that's not knocking the actress, that's knocking the character, and also they have a live-in nanny that's trying to help them out and everything. Oh, and since it's called 13 Ghosts, we obviously need some goddamn ghosts here. Enter Cyrus, played by F. Murray Abraham, and Dennis, played by Matthew Lillard. So, Cyrus is a rich boy, and he has all the money in the world to get the ghostly world into his house, and he needs Dennis' psychic ability. I cannot get this song to go any further except into the abyss. I should retro review the abyss at some point. Anyway, Matthew Lillard has psychic abilities, that is, maybe just one, I don't know. It's kind of very strange. And he, can help communicate with ghosts and everything and touch people and find out all their spoopy nature and everything. And my God, he can communicate with ghosts and the living and everything and find out all these horrible things. It must be a terrible gift. And that's told through a lot of really bad editing. Let me just say right now that the set design is the only good part of this fucking movie. Like the junkyard saying in the beginning, the house is really goddamn cool. And they put no effort into anything else. And I'm not even knocking the acting. The actors do the best they can. There was a character named Kalina Embeth Davitis. Let me tell you right now, I would and you would too, and she's almost 60 and she still looks fucking great. And so you're wondering how this all ties together. Well, you got Tony Shalhoub's family, Tony Shalhoub's character Arthur, and he's trying to pick up the pieces, and Cyrus and Dennis, along with a crew that has a blood truck, because why wouldn't you use a blood truck to lure a ghost out? He needs all these ghosts here, and he has a cube, a giant cube with Latin writing on the walls. It's Latin spells and all this and everything. It's all this ghostly, spoopy apparition stuff. And then Kalina and her friend, their cohort, basically, are trying to stop Cyrus from doing this stuff. You can't trap these evil spirits and everything. You bastard, we're trying to set them free. Why was this guy in a junkyard, by the way? It was never explained why this ghost, that later is nicknamed the Juggernaut, bitch, was in a junkyard. Did he just wander there and said, yeah, I'll just stay here and possess these cars and just throw people around and everything, because I'm bored? You don't really need a lot of explanation when it comes to these horror movies, but a little bit would go a long way. And then when they try heaping explanation on you, you're like, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't fucking care anymore. I'm bored. I will say that this movie does have a certain charm to it in the sense you can just laugh at it because there are there are actually some good makeup effects and some good gore effects. Just the problem is everything is cut, 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 cut. It's like somebody was on trucker speed when they did this, and then they gave them more trucker speed, and they unfortunately, had to go into a medically induced coma to get out of that, and they brought somebody else in and gave them more trucker speed with blackjack and hookers. So, by the way, the only way you can see these ghosts also is to put on these cool 3D-like glasses. They're spectral glasses, so you can read all these hidden spells and see these ghosts and everything, and it's such a fucking mess. So Tony Shalhoub's family eventually gets greeted by this character, Ben Ross, who's played by J.R. Bourne. I apologize for screwing that up. And he's a slimy lawyer that presents this this video on a laptop, rather, from F. Murray Abraham. It's like the first ever video blog. Man, remember that 2001 computer technology? It's hard to believe it's been 20 years ago. He basically says, hey, this house is yours. Look at all these layouts and everything. Look at all this cool shit. I'm not going to tell you if there's ghosts in there, sir. The mic's still on. Oh, son of a bitch. So anyway, he basically gives him the house because he died during this whole expedition to try and get the Juggernaut, bitch. And also a bunch of other people died. And Matthew Lillard was freaking out and everything because he's like, what? You're not telling me all this stuff and I can't communicate with these ghosts and ow. Matthew Lillard would star in Scooby-Doo a year later and be Shaggy. And I mean, I'm not talking it wasn't me. I'm talking he would be the best damn thing besides Linda Cardellini as Velma. I would and you would too. So they get this house and Shannon Elizabeth is endlessly fascinated by just shiny objects and everything. I mean, her character, Kathy. But it's just funny to see how she acts. And to mind you, all these ghosts are in there, and there's all this writing on the wall and everything. Literally, the writing is on the wall. And they're like, well, this house looks kind of cool, but there's really no privacy. And the nanny goes along with them and everything. And we smash cut to Kalina getting a whole bunch of, or Kalina, I think is the best way to describe it. She gets a whole bunch of, explosives and everything and all this stuff. And while this rap music plays over, and where are the West Texas rednecks when you need them? If you get it, you get it. And basically, Dennis has since been separated from, Cyrus's, hold, so to speak. And he pretends to be a power guy to try and get in there and basically figure out why all these ghosts are trapped in there. And oh shit, what's going on? I need to cut off the power and everything, but he doesn't quite know the house design, so he needs to get in there. And then he gets in there with the family, and then they all get trapped. But they don't realize they get trapped for a while. Oh god, it just gets worse. By the way, this all happens within the first 20 minutes. All this happens within the first 20. And then Matthew Lillard is talking to Tony Shalhoub and everything and telling him, I used to collect, your uncle was a collector of a lot of things. I used to, hunt, displace spirit energies, wraiths, all that. Is any of this getting through to you? Ghosts. I used to hunt ghosts. Everybody's stupid in this goddamn thing. Arthur doesn't believe in ghosts, yet he apparently believes that his son is normal enough to talk about dead things and speak into a tape recorder. And I hate everyone in this. I hate every character. So the lawyer, however, does meet. The one good part is the lawyer meeting the end where he gets split down the middle literally by a stabby girl with cuts and tits. Because ghostly tits, am I right, lads? That was kind of cool. Split top lawyer bread, as I called it. So Kathy is in a bathroom just endlessly fascinated by everything. Wow, this bathroom, it's so clean and everything. I've never seen a bathroom before. And the ghostly girl is suddenly there. Because all these ghosts are just eventually getting released from their pods that were in the basement and everything. It's all part of this plan. So it's all part of the plan. And she is washing her face in a bathtub when there's a perfectly good sink right there. But she's doing that while this ghostly girl is there. As we cut away, we see the ghostly girl as, blood and everything. She's all bloody. Mother, blood. And then Shannon Elizabeth doesn't realize this stuff because she doesn't have the fancy, spoopy, 3D glasses to see all the ghostly shit. She doesn't have that stuff. So then Bobby also goes missing during this whole thing. All this stuff is just being chucked at us at this point, and we just have to assume that we're supposed to care about these characters. I didn't give a shit if anybody died in this goddamn thing. And there was one line that the lawyer split with all the subtlety of a goddamn brick to the skull. And then another brick to the skull. This movie's beating you over the head. We're witty. Admit it. We're witty. Anyway. So, it's ectobar glass. It's soundproof and everything. It's like that metal that they named in the core. I can't remember the name of it right now. But it was a really stupid name. Shannon Elizabeth does not realize what's going on here. And she is endlessly fascinated by bathwater and by a clean bathroom, but doesn't believe in ghosts. That's where she draws the goddamn line. And Bobby gets chased by ghosts, but hears a voice, a familiar voice on a tape recorder. It's the mom. Okay, so the mom's trying to communicate, basically, because it turns out the mother is one of the 13 ghosts. Or the 12 ghosts. Because the 13th ghost, is something that's revealed a little bit later. Ooh, but the mother is trying to help, even though she's trapped in this house among all these evil spirits. All she did was die in a fire. And I mean, I'm not saying all, but like, it's not like she's a vengeful spirit. She's probably just like, I really just want to go to the afterworld and, like Prince said, and have my family join me years down the road after they live their life. And nope, I'm trapped here among a bunch of, great makeup effects and weird, cut edits. Oh, wait, I'm gone from the camera again. So, everybody decides to go downstairs, and Dennis said, did I say there was a fucking petting zoo down there? No, there's ghosts, and they're all being released. I thought you said they were trapped. Well, maybe. I don't know. The director didn't know either. So, then they decide to split up. Scoob, you and Shag go that way. Daft, Velma, and I will go this way. No wonder Freddy always wanted to go with the two girls. Probably wanted to see Daphne and Velma. Moving on. So, tortured souls, who did violent shit and all that stuff. You got a guy that's got hammers and nails in him and stuff like that and everything. It's like he was like if Michael Clark Duncan was like a discount version. And then, you got a baby and a disheveled mother, and you have a girl that, had the tits and the cuts and everything and the knife. And then you had a kid that was like dressed like an Indian that was a killer, obviously. And then the Juggernaut, bitch. And then a guy with an exploding bat. He must have been watching Onita matches. So, yeah, and other ghosts and everything. None of this really fucking matters because you never really get to see the goddamn ghosts. You do get to see the split top lawyer again. Again, the only good goddamn kill. And then Kalina suddenly shows up, just out of nowhere. She made her way through the goddamn house. Oh, nope. She somehow was always there because we find out a little bit later. There's something amiss here on Route 56. So, I think it was 66, but moving on from that. She talks about being in the spirit reclamation business and that there's this arcana fire. Anyway, talking about this book was written by a guy who wrote it while he was under demonic possession. Really legible writing, despite being under demonic possession. The whole demonic thing must have given him really good writing abilities and really good penmanship. Or the demon was like demonic William Shakespeare in a previous life and decided to do this. No, I don't know what I'm on about, and the movie didn't either. And we're in the middle of a machine, designed by the devil and powered by the dead. The brain dead in this case, because this movie's absolute dog shit once again. So, then Matthew Lillard's character ends up meeting an end, even though he has to play keep away from the guy with the Onita exploding barbed wire bat. And how do you lose someone in a glass house? I don't know. I forgot about the movie The Glass House, even though Lily Sobieski looked really good in it. That movie came out in 2001, I think. I should rewatch that. That movie was shit. So anyway, we have more infighting. The fourth ghost was his late wife and everything, so he's upset everybody. And then when Dennis found out he was trying to help him. And yeah, there's the firstborn son, the torso. Yeah, there was literally a torso ghost. I don't know what the fuck that ghost could do. There's the bound woman. I think it was a ghost of Nancy Benoit only 6 years prior. And then we get the withered lover. That's the burn woman. The angry the angry pioneer. No, I'll just say the angry princess. The pilgrimess. The hammer and the jackal, and the jackal, by the way, eventually attacked Shan Elizabeth, had a box on its head, but was like, I'm just gonna do this, da, 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 da. Ow. That hurt considerably. that basically was pretty much like the best thing. Like, you had one job to kill off one of the annoying characters in the movie, and they failed to do it. So they then come up with this idea to basically blow up this goddamn machine that's in the goddamn house that is going to get all the energy from these 12 ghosts. And the 13th ghost is failsafe. Basically, somebody that a human sacrifice that would sacrifice himself out of pure love, and that would be Arthur, Tony Shalhoub's character, because he lost his wife, and he's really upset about it. Which, yeah, you lose a loved one in a fire, you would be. It's just unfortunate that that's the only dimension they gave to his character. But it's the Eye of Hell or whatever, not the Eye of Sauron. And Dennis eventually meets an end because he sacrifices himself to save Arthur. Gets broken, and by God Almighty, he is broken in half. And then everybody else just basically does a whole bunch of stupid shit. Billy and Billy, the son, by the way, and Kathy eventually pop up, and they're in the middle of this machine. Oh, and it turns out that Kalina was in on the whole goddamn thing, and even though she was against Cyrus, it turns out she was with Cyrus the whole time. But Cyrus was against her and has her sacrifice where she gets squished. Squish Lena. I've seen women squished, and pressing it up against glass like that. Usually doesn't end. Actually, it ends more violently. I really need to delete my search history or go incognito. Moving on from that. The machine ends up getting destroyed because the nanny decides to go mix master on these Latin tapes and everything, and that's it. The ghosts disappear, seemingly from the machine, and then Tony Shalhoub sacrifices himself. Oh no, he gets in between the spinny blade things that are going on like this. And that's it. He saves his family, the machine blows up. F. Murray Abraham gets thrown into the machine actually before it stops, and he gets sliced to bits. It's more like slice wrists. I work hard on these puns, please laugh. And that's it. Family's all happy, and the nanny quits. This movie went nowhere. We went goddamn nowhere. The sad thing is there was, again, missed potential with this. Really missed fucking potential. Set design was very good. Everything else was just dog shit. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Thir13en. I'll see you soon.